Hi, I'm Mindy, 28 years old, single, live a nomadic lifestyle across China. Thank you for watching my vlog. Being single at 28 is seen as something shameful in China, especially for women living in rural areas or coming from rural areas. I don't buy this argument at all. So, I have chosen to go traveling and live away from home. Let me share my peaceful and happy day in today's vlog. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. Last month, I bought this small humidifier. It does not hold much water and doesn't humidify the room very quickly. But it works fine. My bedroom is not very big, so it meets my needs. When I clean my parrot's cage, he thinks I'm playing with him. It would be such a waste to lay brand new blanket paper underneath to catch his droppings. So now I write things on the paper first before using it as cage lining. I have collected all the feathers he has shed. When I first got him, lots of his feathers were dirty. Now almost all of them are clean, apart from his tail feathers. They are still a little grimy because he used to work on the floor. It has been raining these days, and the air is really humid. If washed clothes are hung out properly, they grow mold. Ever since I quit working to live a nomadic travel life, my wardrobe has had far fewer clothes. Cool fitting pajamas are what I wear most days. They save money and make life easy. I prefer eating upstairs, so I carry all my seasoning up there and bring them back down to cook the next day. Today I'm going to stir fry shredded chicken. There isn't much food left in the fridge. I plan to go to the supermarket to stock up in a few days. There are a few sausages left, only enough for one meal. I originally intended to finish them today, but I changed my mind. Stir-fried onion and shredded chicken with pasta will be plenty. This dish is quite troublesome to make. I first boil the chicken, then tear it into strips by hand and fry the strips slowly until they turn golden, crisp, and firm. Once again, I forgot to buy a chopping board and kitchen knife. It's fine, I have a small knife. I can always manage. We should all try to stay optimistic. When things go wrong, don't just blame yourself. Focus on finding solutions. Don't criticize or berate yourself easily. Allow yourself to make small mistakes, and life will become far more enjoyable.
Okay, little bird. See? 你听得出来吗？在下面有洋葱哎，下面有洋葱，等会儿再叫你啊。
I only gradually understood this after I went to university. When I was younger, I would constantly scold myself over tiny things. I'd ask why I was so careless. Why I couldn't be more attentive. And I'd feel upset about the price I had to pay to fix my mistakes. Looking back now, all those costs amounted to a little time and a small amount of money. They were never as serious as they seemed. But when I was a child, even breaking a bowl would lead to harsh, hurtful scolding from my family. Not to mention any other mistakes I might make. I lived in constant fear as a kid, terrified that any misstep would result in shouting or punishment. Most children who grow up in rural China share similar experiences.
妈要下去做饭了，妈要下去做饭了，你自己在笼子里待着好不好？嗯，自己在笼子里待着先，不能闻油烟味呀，啊，嗯，你能不能松手啊？松爪子，松开呀！松爪子呀！哎呀，嗯嗯嗯嗯。
I put the cooked chicken in water and left it in the fridge for over 2 hours. By then, the chicken had turned cold, and its meat became firm. Now I can tear it into thin strips by hand. Tearing chicken by hand is exhausting though. So I don't cook this very often. There's no point tiring myself out just for food. I only make it to satisfy my cravings when I really want it. At other times, I skip it. Many traditional Chinese dishes take a great deal of time and effort to prepare. I rarely have the patience for complicated recipes and only try them occasionally when I feel like it. I admit I am lazy, and I don't feel ashamed about it. The chicken strips taste similar to beef jerky. It works both as a side dish and a snack. It's really chewy. I can eat a little at a time, and a big bowl can last for days. In rural China, older generations struggle to accept children making mistakes because they live in poverty. If a child messes something up, the adults have to cover the loss. Even replacing a broken bowl costs money, and every extra expense pains them deeply. So, when children make mistakes, they get severely reprimanded. The idea is that fear will make children more cautious to avoid errors, or force young children to sort out the consequences alone, saving adults extra trouble. As a result, these children become the well-behaved kids their families talk about. The children learn to be sensible from an early age, never causing trouble at home, studying hard to bring honor to the family. If they fail to live up to these standards, they struggle to receive their family's affection. Even if they meet every expectation, the warmth they receive is still limited, especially for girls. My heart goes out to the little girl I once was. Now I allow myself to make mistakes, accept my imperfections, and permit myself to live freely and authentically. I no longer want to be the obedient child who always listens to my parents. When I was little, they told me I had to get married before turning 25. I was expected to learn all kinds of housework and become a good cook so that my husband's family could enjoy my meals and praise me. They said I ought to build a warm, cozy home for my husband's family and that I should have at least 3 children. I would need to stay home to look after the kids when they were young, then go back to stable employment once the children grew up. Now I refuse to follow their wish. I suppose this is my delayed rebellion. When I was young, I never troubled my parents. I could look after myself, took care of most of the housework, worked hard at school, consistently achieved top grades, won scholarships and made them proud. Later, I was admitted to a reasonably good university. By Chinese standards, My upbringing fits the description of the child other families admire. Now that I am an adult, I am not willing to obey them any longer. My parents feel confused. How could such a well-behaved child grow up and stop listening? What they do not realize is I was never naturally obedient. I only pretended to be compliant because I had no way to protect myself as a child. Now, I have the ability to stand up for myself. So, naturally, I will no longer obey blindly. This is one visible symptom of the conflicts between young Chinese people and their parents today. There are far more issues besides this. This is merely the tip of the iceberg. Some viewers on YouTube commented that they admire China's culture of filial piety. They believe it creates strong family bonds. I think they view it far too idealistically. Often, this so-called closeness means complete exploitation of children by their parents. Children cannot fully develop as independent individuals in front of their parents. Actually, everyone has a limited amount of energy. If parents continuously drain energy from their children, those children have to seek energy elsewhere. People who lack the ability to gain emotional support from society often turn to the lowest cost option, having children. Then, they draw energy from their own children using the same methods their parents used on them. To me, this forms a vicious cycle. I cannot understand why anyone would admire such a culture. Perhaps parents appreciate it, since the system inherently favors them. Few children would wish to have parents like that. Once they grow up, all they want is to move far away. Many young people collapse under strict parental pressure and choose to end their lives. China does not publish detailed statistics on these tragedies, but that does not mean they do not exist.
你鸡屁股上是什么东西？
So, we should not romanticize this culture. Of course, some Western families may go too far in letting children do whatever they want. I believe good parents today should aim for balance, avoid excessive control, but also avoid permissiveness. Families in China tend to be overly controlling, while Western households might lean towards indulgence. In the future, young people around the world planning to become parents should aim for that middle ground, neither controlling nor overly permissive. This is the direction healthy parent-child relationships should move towards.
操作成功，请取下灯条。